She stood on the edge of a bridge of despair, of life itself. No one knew her pain. No one saw her tears. No one, until someone stopped and prayed. This is not just a story. It's a reminder that one moment, one prayer, one act of compassion can literally save a life. Her name is Jasmine, and today, she's alive because someone chose to care. Jasmine was the kind of woman who smiled for others, but cried behind closed doors. She grew up in church. She knew the scriptures, but as life pressed in, loss, disappointment, loneliness, her faith began to fade. Her marriage had crumbled. Her finances were in ruins. She felt abandoned, forgotten, and worst of all, invisible. She would pray and hear nothing. She would cry and feel nothing. Eventually, she stopped hoping. And then, one rainy afternoon, she made a decision. One she never thought she would. She walked alone to a quiet overpass just outside the city. No one noticed her. No one stopped. She wasn't angry. She was empty. And as she stood there, heart pounding, ready to say goodbye, God, if you're real, if you still see me, this is your last chance. And that's when it happened. A voice behind her called out, "Young woman, excuse me, ma'am. Are you okay?" She froze. That voice felt like it came from somewhere deeper than the street, like it pierced through the darkness. She turned. It was a stranger, a young woman, maybe mid-20s, holding a Bible, soaked from the rain. Jasmine tried to smile, to pretend everything was fine, but the woman didn't buy it. She stepped closer and said, "Young woman, I don't want to intrude, but God told me to walk this way. I never come this route, but he said someone needed prayer." Tears fell from Jasmine's eyes. She didn't say a word. She didn't have to. The woman gently asked, "Can I pray for you?" Right there, on a sidewalk near the edge. In the rain, with traffic rushing by, this stranger stretched out her hand and began to pray. Not loudly, not dramatically, but powerfully. "Father, you see your daughter. You haven't forgotten her. You know the pain, the silence, the fight in her soul. Remind her today that you are still near, that her life still has purpose, and that she is deeply loved." In that moment, Jasmine didn't feel alone. She felt warmth, peace, and for the first time in months, she felt seen. The prayer wasn't long. It didn't fix everything, but it did something deeper. It interrupted the darkness. And sometimes that's all it takes. Jasmine stepped back from the edge. She cried into the arms of a stranger who just became an instrument of God's love. And that moment changed everything. Friend, I don't know what you're walking through. Maybe you're smiling on the outside, but breaking on the inside. Maybe you've whispered those same words Jasmine did. God, this is your last chance. If that's you, this video is your interruption. God sees you. He hasn't stopped loving you, and you are not beyond hope. Sometimes we think big miracles come with lightning and thunder, but sometimes they come through a stranger on the street, a prayer in the rain, or a video that shows up at the right time. Jasmine's life was saved because someone was willing to listen to that still small voice. Go. Someone needs prayer. Months later, Jasmine walked back to that same bridge, not to say goodbye, but to give thanks. She now helps with a local ministry that reaches out to those in crisis because she knows how it feels to be moments away from giving up. And now she's the one stopping to pray. She's the one reminding people, Jasmine, your story isn't over. So if you're watching this and wondering if prayer matters, let me tell you, it does. It saves lives. It lifts hearts. It pulls people back from the edge. If this message moved you, share it. You never know who might be one prayer away from a breakthrough. And if you need prayer, drop a comment below. We're not just viewers here. We're a community. We'll pray with you. And if God nudges your heart to reach out to someone today, don't hesitate. You might just be the one to stop and pray. Jasmine was ready to end it all until someone stopped. Not a pastor, not a counselor, just a willing heart. And that prayer, that moment, saved her life. Subscribe to Uplifting Nations for more real stories of faith, hope, and miracles, because you never know. The next story might be yours. See you next time.